everybody. Welcome to In the Den with Dr. Jen. As you can see, this is our Christmas episode, and the audience is very excited about this. So, today's topics. Are you around grumpy men and you don't know why they are grumpy? My guest today will help demystify that. Our sexual fun fact, what color do men find most sexy on women? And we have a what's that word mean to challenge you. Stay tuned. Our den chat today. Do you have a grumpy boyfriend or husband? A man who just might get a lump of coal in his stocking from Santa because he's not always so nice? Well, our holiday guests are here to give us some insights on this topic. We have Mara and Jonathan Hoover, who've been married for nearly 5 years. Now, after they both survived their practice marriages, I like that terminology, they found each other in a bar and are now living happily ever after. Now, Mara has dreamed of writing a book since she was 5 years old. And this year, with the support and encouragement of her husband, she published My Grumpy Husband, Find Marital Satisfaction with Just 6 Simple S's. The book's based on her experiences in relationship with her husband and shared stories from men and women around the country. And Mara wants you guys to know, don't worry guys, no husbands were harmed in the writing of this book.
Very important.
Yes. So, welcome guys, thank you.
Thank you.
Now, and I think I probably told this to you, when I first heard the title, My Grumpy Husband, I was kind of turned off by it. It felt a little uncomfortable, but I understand the title idea was actually yours, John?
I titled the book.
Okay, so tell me where you got the idea for this book.
Well, we've been happily married for the last almost 5 years, and I just started watching, and every once in a while he would just get so grumpy, and I was trying to figure out, what did I do wrong? And as a woman, I would tend to complicate things and think that it was some horrible, awful thing that I had done and he hated me and we would be divorced very soon and that we were never going to make it. What I realized was he's very simple, as are most men. And
you're okay with this?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. You're not insulted by that.
Let's not complicate things.
Okay.
So I started watching him and his friends, and we figured out that there were 6 basic things that all started with S, that if they were missing, that would probably cause him to get grumpy.
Okay.
So that's what we tested, and sure enough, it seems to work most of the time.
And for the audience that may be wondering, what are those 6 things?
Those 6 S's are sleep, space, sports, shower, sex, and snacks. So it really is that simple.
Okay, so how has writing this book, how has this affected your relationship?
Well, I think it's actually opened up a lot more conversation for us to talk with our friends about relationships and kind of how we've developed our relationship, what we've been doing, and more than anything, I get so many reactions from women, whether they've been married for years or just getting married, where it's like, really? It really is that simple? So I guess, what would you say, honey?
Yeah, definitely the reflection on it. A lot of times people, when they hear what the S's are and we kind of explain what's going on, they're like, oh yeah, that makes sense, actually, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
So it's really practical, and that's kind of the best part about it.
And I told you, I gave it to my mom for her birthday. I sent her a copy, and my parents have been married 44 years, and after she read it, she was like, yep, your father makes more sense now. Like, I can't believe I didn't know this.
Excellent.
So, that's so awesome. And how have people given you a hard time for knowing that you're the original grumpy husband that this is based on?
It's kind of funny. I mean, I'm a generally happy guy.
Yeah.
This is pretty much how I look most of the time. So it's funny because people generally, when they read it, like your initial reaction, kind of turned off. And
yeah.
Especially my friends or people that know me, a little bit defensive, like, you're not really that grumpy. And,
right.
And the neat thing for us is that, you know, having been through a marriage before, we both really value what we have and wanting to make that work. And we're passionate about kind of helping other people see some of those easy things that can make a difference. So this is kind of a neat way for us to be able to do it. It's very non-threatening. It's not like reading some huge like this is how relationships work. You know, it's just fun and light. And
well, and I think you're some topics, right, that could cause a lot of friction in a relationship, and you're bringing levity to it. And you're like, we can laugh about this. We can have a conversation about it. I think that's awesome. So what was your goal overall with writing this book?
My goal was really to show women, I mean, I just see so many wonderful couples that are newly married that should be happy, and the poor woman is just tearing herself up thinking that she's doing something wrong. When really it's just, you know, we were recently talking with a couple where the space issue came up, and her husband works in a difficult career, and so he only has a 5-minute commute to get home. He doesn't have enough time to unwind from the work box to the home box, and so they've been getting in a lot of fights. And I said, how about if he had a really rough day, if he called you and just said, you know, I need 30 extra minutes. I know you've been home all day with the kid. I know you're exhausted, but as soon as I get there, I'll take care of her. You can go get in the bathtub. And that would be ideal, but most couples don't know to start those conversations. And that was the real goal, to open up that conversation and really show people that, hey, you married each other for a reason, or you're dating for a reason. You love this person. Why are you picking fights all the time?
Yeah.
So that was the goal.
And I understand you're heading down a whole line of My Grumpy Husband, etc. products.
Yes.
What are you going to be opening up to?
Well, there's a couple different directions I want to take the company. We are going to do a book series. So I think that the idea of being able to share your stories, share your relationships, share what you're going through, eventually we probably will have My Grumpy Wife, but that will be later on. So the next couple books are The Newlywed's Guide to My Grumpy Husband. I really want to take the wisdom of married couples that have been married 20, 30, 40 years and have them share what they've learned, what they wish they would have known, have it shared both from his and her perspective. Another one that I want to write is My Grumpy Husband. So, you know, there's a lot of divorced women out there who need to vent about stuff their ex-husbands have done. So this is going to give them the ability to talk about their husband. And, you know, so there's a couple other ideas, but we also want to do a product line, series of hats, I love my grumpy husband, I am the grumpy husband, you know, stuff like that. That's just going to give people the ability to laugh. And then ideally I would love to do a TV show or some sort of a movie based off of the concept. And food product line, so simple.
Snack line, very important.
So simple a grumpy husband can do it. And, you know, why not a line of wines while I'm at it? So.
That's awesome. I love the creativity, how you're running with this.
Yeah, we're just going to kind of take it as far as it'll go. So
I went to Facebook, and I asked for some examples of what some of my friends thought, examples that they had about a grumpy boyfriend or a grumpy husband behavior out there. And I gathered a few, see what you guys think.
Let's see.
One of them was not getting downtime when he comes home from work, and because the high energy kids start chattering right away. You just mentioned that. Another friend mentioned 3 different reasons. One was food, being too hungry or the food that doesn't agree with him. 2, pain, which makes sense. And 3, external circumstances that make him feel trapped or powerless, like being stuck in traffic.
Right.
And then another person said, asking why he's grumpy is a sure way to make him grumpy.
So true.
Yeah. So we got some agreement in the audience there. So you can find Mara, her book, and the My Grumpy Husband line of products online at mygrumpyhusband.com. Sexual fun fact. All right, my question, I got a pack of lube and condom to anybody in the audience that gets it right, is when women wear what color are men most likely to perceive them as sexy and attractive? A, black, B, white, C, red, D, deep purple.
C, white, purple!
Oh, you can't yell them all. It was red. Who else said red? Ooh, shit.
Yeah, honey, don't you think I'm sexy?
There you go.
I'm wearing my sexy
Did
red.
you? I know, you guys are both wearing red. And so a research study actually found that men were unaware of the influence of this color on perceiving women as more sexually desirable. And, interestingly, it did not increase how men rated women on intelligence, kindness, or likability overall. Kind of interesting. And I forgot to give to you guys, you're my first ever official guest that received the In the Den with Dr. Jenn mug.
Oh,
as
awesome.
thank you for being in the den. Yay!
I like these. They're very cool.
What's that word mean? This is one of my favorite sections. Priapism. What's that word? Actually, this is more common than I generally use, but folks know what that word means. You've probably heard it on pharmaceutical commercials. I've got some noddings. Yeah, okay. Priapism is an erection that lasts too long. Now, some of you may be like, could they ever last too long? Is that possible? The Viagra commercials say longer than 4 hours, and basically the reason is that it could cause permanent damage. So they're too long. There is a possibility to have too long of an erection. Does anybody know where the name comes from? Nobody? Name comes from Greek mythology. Priapus, who was a minor god of fertility, who always had a huge erect penis. So I'd like to thank our live audience for being here to talk about sex, and Mara and John Hoover to talk about my grumpy husband. And you can find me online at drjensden.com and on Facebook and Twitter at drjensden. Now get in touch with me if you'd like to work with me for some one-on-one counseling in person or via Skype, or in need of a university speaker on sexuality or gender. Now don't miss the silly or naughty outtake after the credits, and as always, be kind to yourself.
I got a cough. Sorry. Oh my gosh.
She's on the question. She got all nervous.
Oh no. Sorry, I just got this.
It was so cute.
Stop everything.